Alright y'all, welcome back to Dorian's DIY Car Audio. So the past few videos I hit you guys with, those were all unboxings. And as I said, this isn't going to be primarily an open box page, but there will be some open boxes that's going to happen because I buy things and I like to show you guys what I'm buying. A little quick in depth or something cool for you to see. Like we did the lawn chairs and the picnic table. Maybe it strikes your fancy, maybe it doesn't. Anyway, what we have here is today we want to go over some stuff. So a few videos back I had that video showing how I did the sound quality, budget sound quality build for $1,250. Okay, cool. So obviously, yeah, that's budget, right? And sound quality, I guess that's, you can pick and choose how you want. Some people believe that you have to spend a ton of money to get sound quality. Other people believe that sound quality is a nice, well-round, balanced stereo. Okay, so that's kind of the category I fit into, all the way to the extremes. I'm to the extremes on both ways, right? Sound quality, SPL, SQL, I love it all. There's nothing that I don't like. I even like stunt walls. I don't like people posting up and doing stunt walls in front of people's homes or while they're sleeping and stuff, but I do think they're cool. Anyway, what we're gonna do here today is I want to go over some stuff. So I know most of you guys might know who Raw Cat is, or you might know who Socket is, and of course you guys know who Peter is from PS Sound, and all of those guys do DSP tuning, right? And even though the equipment that I'm using may not be what like Peter's using from PS Sound, but Raw Cat and Socket are definitely using these equipments, this type of equipment. And the program that I'm going to use is free. So let me just show you guys some stuff that's going to help you be able to RTA, real-time analyze the stereo in your car, all right, or other people's car too, whatever. So I do have two setups because there is kind of two setups to be used or to be had. And because of this, I am going to be using some notes. So I will have my notebook set out to the side here. Okay, so let's start out here with the two different setups. One setup is going to be this mini DSP UMic 1. This is a USB microphone, okay? And I guess let's go ahead and open it up, show you guys. Okay, so in the package comes a microphone, and it feels good. It's got some good weight to it, and this is known budget microphone. Mini DSP recommends this microphone for their DSPs, and if you even look on the back of the box here, it even has REW written there. I don't know if there's an official, obviously there's some sort of official association, but REW, so whatever, you got that. So in the box comes a microphone. There does come a windsock with it that goes over top, and in the bottom there is a USB cable. I am unsure how long it is. I'm gonna guess, just from seeing it, somewhere around 6 feet. Don't hold me to that. And then there also is a stand, small stand, so be it, but there is a mic stand that comes with the unit. Okay, so there you go. This is what you get inside the package when you pick up the UMic 1. Now there is a UMic 2 that is more expensive. I've seen some people talk about it, and if you got the coin to spin, then go ahead and spin that coin and get it. If you're looking for a budget or something that is good enough, then this is going to be your ticket. Yes, that's about 6-7 feet long, maybe 3.3 meters, which would be just over 6 feet. But on the back side, there is a USB plug, and it is Type C, just so you know. Now it plugs right in, and then you have a regular, I think they call that Type A USB, just a regular USB cord. So now with the U mic set up and sitting there, let's look at the other mic setup that I purchased, and then I will go over why I have two different type of microphones and two different setups. Okay, the next one is going to be, they call this the Behringer EMC 8000. Okay, and this here is an XLR measuring microphone. All right, this one is cheap. I think I got it off of Amazon somewhere around 30 bucks. The U mic was somewhere around $100 at the time when I purchased it. I think they're a little bit more now. Okay, so the Behringer ECM 8000 does come with a nice case. That's kind of cool, right? You want to be able to store this stuff and have it fairly protected, and it's nice that it does come with this case here. So let's open up the case and see what we got inside. You have directions, just probably directions on the other one too, but you have a microphone head. You do have a windsock. And then you have the microphone itself, okay? Now this microphone feels to be about the same size and weight of the U mic, but there is a big difference in these here. This Behringer is a XLR microphone, okay? And when using the XLR microphone, there is some further steps that has to be taken to be able to utilize this correctly. So let's go ahead and go over that real quick. And the birdies are chirping. Sorry, the old lady feeds the birdies, and it is what it is, y'all. Okay, so if you want to be able to use, well, let me go back real quick and let me look at these notes that I have here and explain to you the reason why there is two different microphones, the U mic here, the USB, and then the Behringer XLR microphone cable, or microphone, sorry. So obviously I say cable. The two main differences is the cable that they use, right? One is a USB, plugs directly into your computer. The other one utilizes an XLR microphone, and you need a audio interface. So with the analog mic being the XLR microphone, okay, so this allows you to take, this allows you to measure your frequency response, okay? It also will do impulse and phase measurements, distortions, etc., all at one time, okay? Now, when using this, let's get this out of here. While using this microphone here, the XLR microphone, you're going to need some more equipment in order to make this happen. That equipment being is, one is a audio interface, right? Now, what I chose to use was a Scarlett 2i2, okay? This is the version, this is a 3rd gen version. I think they're on a 4th gen version now, but for what I'm using it for, this is absolutely fine. There's lots of guys who are gonna give you the big rundown on. I'm going to give you the brief rundown. Okay, so this is an audio interface, and what this also has is it has 2 inputs and outputs, okay, and that is what you need. The bare minimum requirement you need is 2 inputs and outputs, okay. So let's go ahead and pop that open, give you a quick look at what it is, which is just really not much to it, but I just want to show you. All right, and this is your audio interface, okay. It has some stuff there, boom, boom, boom. I'm not sure if I'll really go over it because this is going to be a learning curve for me too. But on the back side, there's some, there's also some outputs and some more USB cables. Okay, we're going to set that to the side. So the cost of this here is roughly, let's just say about $100, as you can get all sorts of different audio interfaces for various prices, ranging from like 60 to $100. This one, which is pretty decent, and clearly, as in anything else, you can go a lot more expensive. Now, when you use that, you're going to need these cables here, and these are called XLR cables. They are microphone cables. These are the microphone cables. These are the microphone cable, right? Okay, so when you see a person using a corded microphone cable, they're using XLRs. You see them up on stage at your high school events, you know, anywhere you'll see someone using a corded cable, it's going to be this. And let's bring this closer to you so you see what it looks like. All right, that is a XLR microphone cable. Now, the package I bought had 2 of them in there. Cool beans. All right, so this will plug into the back of here, and it is keyed. All right, and then that will plug into your audio interface. Now, to be able to get the impulses and everything, you're going to need what is known as an audio loop back cable. Now, I had purchased some stuff here to make my own, so I picked up these ends here, and I picked up RCA ends here, which will come in handy for me, but the 1/4-inch jack and the RCA end cables. And then I picked up a roll of speaker wire to make my own cable. And when watching a couple guys, socket to be exact, I realized I really did not need to make my own cable. I could buy stuff in order to make this happen correctly. So when realizing such, I did go out and I picked up, some of these are 2-pack, so if you see me just leave others in, it's because there's a 2-pack. This here is a Y splitter, okay, 2 1/4-inch jacks. This here is just a 1/4-inch jack cable, and I believe this is this is 6 feet long, okay? And then I did pick up another set of wires or cables here that is a 1/4-inch jack to RCAs. Okay, now all of this in this audio loopback, what this does is you're going to send a sound from your computer into here. This here is going to send a sound via all of these cables to your DSP, right? And then also go back, loop back into the audio interface, and then it's going to pull its measurements, timing, so on and so forth, via the communications between the audio signal and what the microphone sends back to it, okay? That's the one that allows you to do like your impulse and your phasing and stuff like that. And so you can get some further, and I'm not going into this for 2 reasons. I don't want to completely steer you wrong, but I also, I don't want to say I have a limited amount of experience or a limited amount of knowledge in it. Even I guess I do have a limited amount of knowledge in it. Just to be fair, I don't have a ton of experience with it, and you can see I am purchasing all of this, but I have been studying it for a while. So I guess I have a studied experience, but not a lived experience. All right. So now moving on from there. Um, Moving on from there, let's go ahead and get rid of the U mic, which is the XLR, aka analog, and let's go ahead and plop on the old USB cable, and we'll plug that in so that you see that. Okay, now when utilizing the USB microphone, here's the deal. It's a great piece of equipment, clearly, right? But there is some limitations with this microphone. There is some limitations with this microphone, and that being with the US microphone, it really kind of only, the ease is to get a frequency response, right? Kinda. So from what I've gathered is you can get like the impulse response and maybe some other things using the USB microphone, but you will have to do additional steps, and then you will have to use, what do they call that? Acoustical timing method is another thing to be used. So, you know, if you're just using this microphone, you need this here, and you need yourself a computer with something like REW, okay? And then there's another one that I was looking at, and I forget the name of it. I won't add it in so you guys can see it. But there is other programs. REW's not the only kid on the block. But you need your laptop and you need your microphone with your USB cable. And you can pull frequency response, and you can do some time alignment using that acoustical timing method. All right. So why did I buy both setups? Okay. The reason I picked up both setups, for me, I will be using the USB microphone to do the frequency response and for doing my equalization. Okay, if you go through the steps of figuring out how to properly tune your vehicle, there's a few steps prior to this to figure out where your speakers will cross over in the locations that they're in, right? So you can do sweeps to find out where those speakers are having their best acoustical performance in the locations that they're in. All right. So frequency response. We all know that preliminarily you can take a speaker if it has a FS of 60, then you really should be starting the crossover around 120, and once and play around from there, right? And if you go below the FS, you need to reduce power. Okay, these are the rules I've always gone by and believe to be true. Take it from there. So I picked this up to be the USB microphone to be able to figure out what the natural responses are in the locations of the speakers, aka drivers, that I have in my vehicle, not what other people are doing in other vehicles with other situations. Too many variables, right? We're going to knock the variables away from here on out. Okay, so that would allow me to do the frequency response to check for those, and it'll also allow me to do my frequency response so that I can start EQing to flatten my curve, okay, or set my house curve. Okay, now once you get the frequency response done and then you get your EQing done, then that's the time when you will switch over, or I will switch over from this USB microphone to the XLR or analog microphone, and then this will allow me to do things like to set my the timing, right, the time alignment, right. This will allow me to do such, and it'll also allow me to do the impulse, so on and so forth. It'll measure distortion. Okay, it's going to give you some more information to have inside your tool bag. Okay. So I went over, so one thing I didn't go over when it comes to the USB microphone, because everything isn't going to be super just plug and play. The USB microphone is easier to deal with than the XLR because there's a few more steps, there's more cables, so on and so forth. But on this microphone here, you'll see there is a serial number. You'll have to go to UMic's website, and then you can get the calibration codes. There's 2 calibration codes. One calibration code is going to be what they call a zero. What do they call it? A zero cal file. Okay, and that is going to be for you taking basically straight on near field speaker measurements. Okay, so your microphone's going to be as here, and let's just act like this is the speaker. Okay, you got your speaker here, microphone straight in. You want to see what that speaker's doing. Okay, now for what I will be using that speaker for, or this microphone for the overall response coming from the speaker and the positioning. Sorry, tractor trailer, the jakey breaky. Those things are cool. For me, I will be using mine. We call this 90 degrees. There's a 90-degree cal file, and basically in a vehicle close to where your head's going to be, right? I basically will be setting this up to be sitting roughly about where my nose is, okay, and shift it back just a tad bit to get the plane from my nose to the plane to my ears, and I will set that there when I'm doing the non-moving mic measurements. Okay, but so there is those 2 files, right? Your 90 degree and your 0 degree, and then you're kind of ready to rock and roll. Now with the XLR deal here, the analog mic, you have to set up this doohickey here. And as I said, if you want to know where to go, videos to see who does this, ask me. Hit me up in the what's names, and I'll send that out to you guys so you have that. So basically, that's all we have from here now. I have to have all of this set up, and then we're going to go into the vehicle. Even though I am not using the DSP right now, I will figure out ways to isolate and take my measurements as needed. I'll cross those roads as they come up. I want to take some measurements of what I did for the $1,250 setup, and I might even go crazy and put in all of the factory speakers and take a frequency response of the factory stereo. I'm not 100% on that yet, but that may happen. But there's a reason why I didn't add any sound deadener, not because I'm cheap, not because I don't believe it's not necessarily needed. Um, I didn't I don't not have a DSP in there because, well, I do believe you can get some pretty good sound out of a stereo. For us regular guys who have no um, expectations of competing, this is something. Um, Everyone says you need to have a DSP, you have to have a DSP, so on and so forth. Look, the fact of the matter is most of those people are using their DSP as a electronic crossover. Okay, um, back we went through this back in the day. Back in the day, you had to have external crossover. I don't have any here to show you, but I'll flash one on the screen. But you had to have an external crossover, and then you had to have your equalizer in-dash equalizer system. Okay, DSP is kind of the what the evolution of that there. Okay, some of your head units will have time alignment in them, they'll have crossovers, and they will have EQ suite in them. And basically, that's a digital sound processor, no matter which way you shake it, right? Might not be as fancy as you want or the brands you like or whatever, but that's really what it is. So, when you use a DSP, you kind of bypass all of the settings in your factory or your factory head unit if you're either going into high levels or you're using an LOC as I am, or even if you're using RCAs and then you allow all of your signal processing to be done in the DSP, the digital signal processor, right? So anyway, not to babble on that. In this truck right now, the sound is great. Yeah, I just don't know how else to explain this. For your regular person, the sound's great. The budget's cheap. It's balanced. It's balanced for what it is, and there's zero complaints on there. Now, as I said, I like all extremes, but I'm not a super extreme guy anymore. When I was younger, I was. I'm not. So basically, we're going to always be working basically on a budget, okay? If and when we make big jumps in things, it won't be everything at once, or there'll be maybe this and then maybe that. So, we'll go back once I get all of this set up, and then I get it figured out in the computer and I have everything ready to roll. I will be taking measurements on all of this stuff, and then I will screen record everything, and we'll sit down, have a conversation, and look at what I gain from either what I gain from what I have here or where I'm at now. At this particular point in time from the upgrade, and we will be able to go back and look at every modification made, and then we'll also be able to see what gains did we get. Now, here's one other thing before I end this video. This is something that needs to be said. You can take all sorts of speakers and you can get them to give a flat frequency response. You can get them to give a boosted frequency response on your high end, or boosted on your bass end, slope down on your high end, or slope down on your low end, whatever. Now, just because you're able to get something to have a nice flat curve, you're able to EQ that flat curve, some people tend to think that you can make every speaker sound the same. And I have to tell you this, especially being a budget guy, that is absolutely incorrect. Different speakers will have different sound signatures, and that's from going through things like the difference between a titanium tweeter, right, to a soft dome tweeter. Just no matter how flat you get them, they're going to present a different sound signature. And then every brand, or even their different models within a brand, can produce a different sound signature. All right. So, with that being said, just because it's the most expensive thing in the world doesn't mean that it's going to produce the best sound signature. And I will be tuning my vehicle with a SQ flat, tune the house curves that everybody else use. And I can tell you this, and I can promise you this right here, that tune will be further in the back, okay? Because this is my vehicle, and this is what I'm building this for, what I like. And I always recommend that people build for what they like. And I will be tuning this to what I like. And one of the things I will be doing off the rip is the main reason I'm doing this is for fun, because I like to do it, and for you guys too. But also, I want to, before I make any further adjustments, I like the curve that I have. And this is primarily through all of my stereos I've had over roughly the past 30 years. This is pretty much the curve that I like, so I'm pretty sure that this is the house curve that I want for my stereo, okay? This is what I enjoy. It allows me to listen to the classic rock. It allows me to listen to techno. It allows me to listen to the old classic R&B, you know, that Al Green, Otis Redding, Roberta Flack, all of that. It allows me to listen to jazz. It allows me to listen to the new rap music. It allows me to listen to the old down south rap music from the 90s. It allows me to listen to hip hop from up north. You know, I'm from New York originally, but that allows you to listen to all of that, right? And I don't have to make any adjustments when listening to my stereo besides attenuating on the bass knob. But I also do want to play around and see if maybe there's things that I do like that I don't know that I like yet. And obviously this is going to be a learning curve for all of us, and so we'd be able to see what can be done with the budget equipment that we have, and also just so you guys can kind of see the differences in some of the equipment that I'll present to you guys. Anyway, this video has gotten fairly long. The next video on this topic will be when I get inside and start pulling some measurements. Obviously, that's going to be a decent amount of work. But until then, please like, comment, subscribe, share. Until the next time, y'all. Peace.